Greetings and welcome back, Dapplings, to From the Depths, and of course to the Abaya, which is not currently building any harms because we don't need any. However, it is trying to quickly repair the Eric Martin, which is fairly far away, and I launched 2 torpedoes accidentally because I am a derp. Now then, in this episode, I am actually going to be modifying a harms torpedo system. So let's go ahead and build one. Now, the reason why I'm going to be modifying one is I would rather spawn 2 different types of harms turrets. They'll both effectively be the same turret, that is, its whole point of it is to sink to the bottom of the ocean and engage targets from there. But one will be built to deal with naval threats, the other will be built to deal with air threats. So it shouldn't actually take me too long to do, I hope. Let's go ahead and construct this. Hold pretty much forever. No limit. Release when it has been held for 1 second. Okay, well, we'll increase that one. And load one of the harms turrets. There we go. Should start putting it together fairly quickly. There we are. Fantastic. Now, the thing with this turret is we are going to be stripping the actual turret off it. We'll keep the base, but the turret is going to go missing. Then we're going to be replacing this turret with a missile launch system. I mean, one of the things we could do, actually, is we could just fit this up for launching missiles. But honestly, I would prefer to try and make much shorter, faster firing missiles. These are very long-range torpedoes, and they kind of have to be long-range torpedoes. Oops, daisy, that wasn't exactly what I hoped would happen. I'll be honest with you. Right, I need to leave the Abaya at this point. Goodbye, Abaya. Thank you very much. In fact, Abaya, you can now be pulled from this battle. There we go, and I'll just jump down. Oh, I really wish that I had just been left on the Abaya. That would have made things so much easier. Or just kind of I had stayed in the space I was occupying when the Abaya was still there. Alas, no. Okay, right, let's get all the way down here, land on you, kind of tip you over a little bit, you know. Right, now then, we are going to get rid of this. We know that just down here we've got the weapon control system. Pop. There we are, that was nice and easy. Right, now I'm wondering, do we want some sort of laser designated system? I'm thinking that perhaps we do. Perhaps we do. We want the missile system to be around about here. Let's take these off to start with. Let's also point the right way so that I know what I'm doing. Right, there we go. So let's start out by grabbing ourselves some missile blocks, and as ever, we're going to color them red. Unfortunately, missile blocks do not seem to want to go there, so I may be forced to do something more along the lines of this. Oh, these are missile blocks. No, wait. We want the 6-way connectors. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now, one thing I can do is I can have the missiles launched out from the corners. That would be fairly easy for me to do. I just remove these like so, and have the missile launch pattern. Perhaps 4 is enough, honestly. Perhaps 4 is in fact enough. I'm trying to decide if 4 is enough or not. Of course, I could have an additional 4, like so. That would definitely be a possibility. We would have to have the, I believe the AI is there, so this is where the missile controller would go. Only we want it to basically point straight down. There we are. And this would be set up as target 1. No limit. Fire wherever you want. These are vertically launched missiles, so you do need to effectively give it no restriction on how it chooses its targets. We will want a... Are we going to make this laser designated? I mean, if we wanted to, then I do have to change the way I'm setting this up. And there is definitely a part of me that I would like to. I won't lie to you. We could have this set up as a laser designated system, but that does rely in a way on this facing up effectively. If this gets pitched on its side for some reason, then that would fail. So no, I think we will actually have it just launched straight up with the idea of it just going all the way up and or rather straight out and having it curve toward its target. I think. It is a difficult one. I mean, ultimately, when you think about it, these things will never actually be upside down or fully on their side. At least not for long. Just the way that the terrain works. You do sometimes have like very steep inclines underwater, but this would just keep on falling until it eventually settled. So, with that said, no, we'll try for a proper vertical launch with a laser designator. I mean, there's no reason not to. What we can do then for this is to rotate this on its side like so. Have it facing forward. And then have these going all the way around like this. So this would then be number one, no limit. And we could have... We don't need an identify friend or foe if it's laser designated. This is the only thing we would require. We can just put it on the other side like this. There we are. It's connected to the correct ID. We'll delay the missiles. It is controlling one weapon. That is good. Right, so all we need now is the missile launch pads on all sides. And of course one in the middle, just because. Now, this is a static weapon, so I don't need to worry about having a turreted system. It's all it's all a static weapon system built into the kind of the chassis itself. We want dark colors. No, not dark colors. And then this. There we go. Something like that. There we go. This way I can still access these components. In fact, given that, I may go ahead and use color replace mode so I can actually see those components properly. There we are. And over here. Oh. Where is the... Ah. That is not in the right place. That is a bit of a shame. Okay, let's grab you. We want you over there. Up on 5. And then this to be the right color. Connected to the right ID. Connected to the right ID. Around here connected to the right ID. Okay, that's good. Right, so all of our missile launch pads are connected. We actually don't want one in the middle. I just realized that's a bit dumb. We want this to be kind of a spire for the laser designator to sit on. Exactly so. Now down here, I don't want these to be particularly long. I don't want them to be especially long missile sections. I don't think that's going to actually help us in any way. So let's build this out a little bit. Then on this side, rotate it around. And then let's see what we can do. Now the first thing is we're going to want the fins at the back. So let's say we want a maneuverable missile. Let's give it 2 fins, maybe 3. Yeah, we'll give it 3. Then we're going to give it a torpedo propeller. Now, the torpedo propeller is just to get it out of the water. It will only engage while it's getting up. And then, finally, we want the variable thruster. Now, the variable thruster should have a fairly low ramp time. We don't really care for that. However, I don't want this to be a short-range missile. I want it to be a fairly long-range missile, but given its... You know, I'm basically building a missile for speed here. The moment it exits the water, it would be quite nimble. Alternatively, I could make this a very rapid-firing, long-distance missile. At that point, I might just have a one-turn and not use the laser designation. That's actually kind of interesting. But for air targets, I think it would ultimately be better if it was capable of much more maneuverable and laser designated. You could also have a thumper at that point. But the idea of having a very low power variable speed thruster really, really appeals to me. So yeah, I think I'm going to change this design slightly. We're going to put this down to 500. It'll be a slow-moving missile, to be sure. But it may be a very capable missile all the same. Right, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, so we're changing the idea, and this is often going to be the way it works with me. I think I will stick with 4, though. I don't think I want more than that. But what I can do instead is I can just change the way I shape the blocks outside, so that will actually be pretty cool. Let's see, so we want to go back to working on this one. So we've got our variable speed thruster. Just go straight to top speed once you're there. We are then going to set this up as a camera. Yeah, I think we'll have a camera on it. We'll make this an infrared seeker. We'll have this select a random block. Now that's got a ridiculous drag, an absolutely horrific drag on it. Then we want plenty of fuel tanks, at least 4, I would say. We need to increase the size of the missiles. That'll give us enough for 4 fuel tanks. Now we're going to need a 1 turn. In fact, all of this should have been prior to setting this up. So a 1 turn and a target prediction guidance. Then we're going to need the fuel tanks. Now, if we want to make these relatively cheap, they're already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks long. We could go out to 7. So another 2. That's 1 fuel tank, then only 2 warheads. So perhaps we should go out to 8. In total. That isn't quite a small missile anymore, unfortunately. So, 1, 2, 3. Oh, wrong direction. There we go. And although having slowed it down, perhaps we won't need all of that fuel. That's quite possible. Yeah, I think we might not. Given that our thruster is much lower speed. I mean, with 4 fuel tanks, with a thruster at that speed, this would possibly have quite a significant range. Might be interesting. We could try it out, certainly. We've got the 1 turn, we've got target prediction guidance, we've got the camera. So we could have 4 warheads and an infrared seeker. Now, my original idea was just to make this to target air targets that were relatively close to the weapon. But then again, thinking about it, the way that I deploy this weapon is at extreme range. Targeting air targets at that point are not as useful in a way, because it would take so long for those air targets to get over this turret for it to engage. So it might be better just to saturate an area with more missiles, but it's still, they're 8-length missiles. They're not small. I could carve 1 length off. Yeah, I think I will. Let's get 1 length down. I don't want it to be that long. And then we'll roll with just... oh, there we are. We'll have 3 fuel tanks instead. And for this, it'll just be a simple double fragment and explosive setup. So 5 degrees and 10 degrees. There we go. That should be okay. Let's exit that out now. Still not the best thing in the world, honestly, but, well, what can you do? Right, so that is linking up in either direction. That's fine. I will be able to place one over on this side. I don't want the mirror line to be there anymore. And I want to have an identify friend or foe. We don't want any coloring. There we go. Should still be linked. Everything should be linked. Yep. Okay. Now there is a 1 turn on these, is there not? Yes, there are. Okay. Right. Well, let's shape the outside a little bit more. So we want a 1 down, or rather a 1 down ramp there. We do now want the mirror line back. And then just some blocks to cover that up, followed by these. So it's a bit of a more interesting shape going on. Still not exactly the best shape because of the size of these missiles, but I'm sure we can do something with that. Go ahead and just grab the light blocks down here. We could perhaps have downward slopes around each side, so it kind of branches out a little bit. And then kind of curves back. What about this? Yeah, kind of works. Not amazing, really, but kind of works. Of course, we could have a laser designator just down here for no reason other than to add a laser. And I'm not against this. Let's go with fleet trim. Plonk that in there. There we go. So it's a bit of a different shape. Quite a lot of a different shape, really. At this point, I feel that it's actually only fair to colour this in a bit differently. There you go. Then the same on that side. We're going to need to make sure we catch that little tile right underneath. There we are. Okay, that looks kind of interesting. And hopefully these missiles will work. Let's find the AI controller. Now, I've no idea how far these will fire. Absolutely none. But what I am certain of is I need to set up the target prioritization differently. At this point, I actually wanted to, yeah, set in value per altitude is fine. Per range, fine. Oh. My torpedo's not correctly set up on the regular harms. That is something that I have to have a look into. My goodness. Okay, that's pretty much all set up as I would want it. Right, we are going to be saving this as Harms AA turret. We need better names for these, though. Absolutely. I was originally just going to go with Harms. Again, in honor of the Cybran submerged torpedo defense turret. But now that I've got a kind of a naval and an AA version of the same turret, I think we need something more to that. Perhaps Harms and then a name. Harms underscore, name for the naval one, name for the aircraft turret. If you happen to have a name in mind for both, if you can think of like a pair of names that seem to work with that, then do suggest that in the comments. This one should be called Harms AA. There we go. Resume game. That is good. Now, if I were to tell this to go ahead and load a vehicle, then this would try and repair it, which would be fine by me. Let's see. Load constructible. Now, this will still build it, so it's all fine. Go ahead and build a regular Harms turret, because I want to double check and make sure that everything on that AI is fine. Go ahead. There we go. It's going to climb. That is not what I want it to do. I want it to come down. There we are. I do just quite like the fact that these just basically sink and then sit on the bottom. Oh dear. That's kind of pitching the wrong way. I need to help it, I think. No, that's not right. I need... Go down. Go down. I want to go down. I am trying to go down. Well, drat. No, I was trying to smack that with my head. It did not work. How frustrating. When this starts to build a turret, it's going to get very confused. Can I? Nope. I just end up flying. Well, this is indeed awkward. I will confess, awkwardness is occurring right now. And I missed again. Why is it so hard to smack my head against something? Oh, it's starting to do something. Uh-oh. It's going to just keep breaking itself because it's pointing straight down. That's less than ideal, shall we say. But okay, let's quickly adjust this because I can get in there. Right, there we go. That is set up to attack what it needs to attack. Where is the target prioritization? Right, target prioritization. Speed. Honestly, the slower it is, the better. But we'll just give it a negative on speed. I want it to aim for things that are under the water. So I wanted to give it a -1 for altitude. The higher up it is, the less it's interested in it. Also, value on range. I'm going to give that a 0. It doesn't care how far away it is. But it definitely needs to prioritize things that have a player. And generally, I would rather it have a slightly higher priority for larger ships. Right, there we go. So let's save that constructible as the Harms turret. There we are. Okay, resume game. That's all I needed to do. And it did actually right itself. Fantastic. So these can just basically sit here for a little bit. Now then, I have no idea what kind of range these can get out to. I really, really don't. So, I'm going to test. I'm going to aim up there and I'm going to fire. And we are going to watch it go. Once it exits the water, its actual thruster should engage and the fuel decreases significantly faster. Okay, so as far as rockets go, these are slow. Only got a forwards velocity of 55 meters a second. I have no idea what target distance, target velocity is. It's not actually aiming at anything. And it's out of fuel. How far away will we? 1,700. I would say that normal operation 1,500, maybe a little bit more than that. Yeah, we could say 1,750 as its optimum sort of range. Okay, let's head back. Let's adjust you then. There we go. There. Right, so 1,750 we'll set this to. That's significantly less far than the torpedoes, but it's fine. Also, minimum altitude to engage should be 0. And maximum altitude to engage should have no limit. Just go for whatever you want. But don't target things that are in the water. And that should be all we need to do. Okay, let's save this constructible. Harms AA. There we are. And resume game. Now, the last thing I need to do is go up to the map. Well, actually come out of build mode. Go up to the map. We should have a harms AA. I'm afraid you now need to die. I am very sorry about this. Also, we've got a regular harms turret there. You also need to be gone. Thank you. Right, we've got an enemy about to engage us, actually. That's pretty cool. Right, a buyer. I want you to load in. I want to get on board very quickly. And finally, I want to set this one up to load the harms AA. There we go. Fantastic. And then save this instance. So in instances, the Abaya has now been updated to include these two new designs. Return to game. Okay, right. Well, I think we'll wrap up this episode with a little bit of a fight. And then in the next, we'll head on to engage our enemies out there. Let's pull from there. Let's just turn around our ships. There we go. And then start a fight. I'm not sure what we're up against. We're up against a stockade, a parapet, 2 parapets and talon cows, and it is time for us to engage. We'll have the Abaya over there. We'll be aboard it. Let us begin the battle. We quite significantly outweigh the opponents. We've got far more tonnage of ship here. Also, I want to adjust this so that it isn't 80 seconds, but 100 seconds. There we go. Now, the reason I've done that is I did notice that, or rather it was noticed in the comments, that occasionally it still wasn't allowing the harms turrets to be built. Oh my lord, it's engaging from that far. The Fasic might need a little bit of help. No. We're not going to help the Fasic. We're going to head up here for now and find out where the enemies are. All the way over yonder. Well done on engaging the Fasic, though. It's quite a distance to be shooting. I'm just waiting for these to kick in and start constructing at the moment. Oh dear. That is very close to the floor. I think you need to avoid it. Thank you very much. I am so ridiculously proud of the Abaya's ability to avoid colliding with things, though. Considering its very low-tech way of detecting the landscape. You can do much better at this point with Lua script, but I don't know. There's a certain charm, I think, in doing it with just ACBs. Let's have a quick gander at this, see if the Fasic... Oh, the Fasic is actually launching its torpedoes. That means it's probably going to start firing its main gun soon, or rather its AA gun. Now, I have been asked if I plan to fix up the Sobeks. I absolutely do. They are going to be retrofit into the Sobek Mark II vessels fairly soon, probably over the weekend at some point, whilst I'm still waiting for the canon update to drop. They, at this point, are pretty much... They're not really considered as viable combatants at this point. They're just brought along because they're already in the fleet, and that's a really sad state of affairs for such a noble vessel. We need to fix them. Are we not deploying these things? Have we not made any yet? Oh, has had 10 lifetime automatic spawns and is currently the mother to 0 of 10 in-play constructibles. That is not good. not adjust that? I'm not sure how that works. Given that they were deleted, that actually genuinely does confuse me a little bit. How can I fix that? Okay, well, just load this in then and build it, and on the other side we'll do the same. But how can I avoid that? The fact that it's basically restricted from creating one because it has at some point built others. I mean, it isn't controlling them right now, and I don't want it to only be able to control 2. And yeah, that feels the only way I'll be able to do it is if I have them kept alive by a sub-vehicle spawner. Now the problem with that is that I do not have enough room on the Abaya to have 10 turrets. It won't be able to pull them along. It just wouldn't work. That is a little bit of a pain. I will be honest with you. A little bit of a pain. Looks like one of the enemies is already going. Let's get up there and have a look. I'm going to have to try and figure out how to fix that then. Right, well, the stockade is going down fairly quickly. Let's go and check on these turrets. Once these are ready, they should be deployed. Oh, okay, this one's engaging. Okay, let's see how you do. Go, go, go. There we are. It's kind of nice, actually. Are they going to turn down? Yes, they are. Fantastic. Is it because it's run out of gas? It might have. No, this seems to be okay. They should easily be within range, but I'm not sure what was happening there. Perhaps the initial firing wasn't quite right, but these ones look alright. They shouldn't be hitting the water, though. May need to change that. Oh, right, they're trying to target this one. Okay, well, that one is actually practically sunk, so it makes a little bit more sense. And it is launching a fair few of them. Perhaps a Lewis script just to keep them off the water would be worthwhile there, I think. Yeah, I suspect a Lewis script on those turrets would be very useful. Let's just go down and have a look at them. Okay, so you've been launching your torpedoes, and you're just sinking down. I mean, I could easily have ACBs that would recall them back to the Abaya after the enemy was vanquished, or as their health was low, or anything like that. But it would restrict the Abaya to only being able to deploy 2 or 4 at most, given its size. I'm not really interested in making a brand new carrier ship. I haven't finished the temple ship, and that's got a lot of work on it, and I don't want to get distracted building another ship of any, moderate size before that's finished. But the lifetime spawn thing, that is quite a problem, actually. Quite a problem. It effectively makes it a one-shot wonder. We will have to look into this. But that is going to be it for this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you will be joining me for the next. And if you do have any idea on how we can address this lifetime spawn problem that we have going, that is to allow the Abaya to just continually produce them when it's in combat. I don't mind if it's got an active, if there are 10 that I have built and they are still active restriction, that makes sense. But between battles, when I basically destroy the last 10 that it built, I don't want that lifetime spawn counter getting in the way. If you have an idea of how to fix that, then do let me know. But until then, and as always, do take care.